Today, we're going to get into a story. It's a story about how one single tiny little action can spark a huge shift in how we see things. It's about that moment when we finally truly see the impact of our choices, no matter how small we think they are. You've probably heard this before, right? Maybe even said it yourself. It's just one. What difference can it make? It's the perfect little excuse for something that feels kind of harmless. It's almost like a mental shortcut that lets us pretend our actions don't have consequences. All right, so let's set the scene. Meets Arjun. He is a young professional living in Surat. You know the type. Good job, goes to the gym, likes his Sunday walks in the park. From the outside looking in, his life seems pretty much sorted. Now, if you look at Arjun's LinkedIn, he's all about social responsibility. He's posting stuff like, "We need responsible citizens." But in the real world, well, his actions tell a completely different story. After he finishes his cigarette, he just flicks the butt right onto the park grass. It's this total disconnect between who we say we are online and what we actually do. And look, this wasn't a one-time thing. This was his routine, a habit he never really thought about. Finish the smoke and flick. It could be on the road, the footpath, the park, anywhere really. And his go-to justification? It's probably biodegradable anyway. But then something happens, that one moment that changes everything. It's just a regular Sunday morning in that same park, but an encounter is about to totally flip his world upside down. So Arjun is just sitting there, enjoying the morning, and he sees this little kid, maybe 7 or 8 years old. The boy has an empty bottle, and he's very carefully picking these tiny little things up off the grass and dropping them inside. Arjun's curious, so he just leans over and asks the kid a really simple question. "Hey, what are you doing?" And the boy's answer is so simple, so direct, but it hits hard. He just says, "I pick these up because my dog sometimes eats them." And that's when Arjun really looks. He sees what the boy is collecting. It's cigarette butts. Not just 1 or 2, but dozens of them, littered all over the grass. And in that moment, the reality of it just sinks in. This is it. This is the moment everything changes for him. His whole perspective shifts, and he starts to see something that was right in front of him the whole time, but he was completely blind to it. It's like all of a sudden, he looks around and the entire park is just covered in these little white and orange dots. A minute ago, he wouldn't have even noticed them. And then he spots the one he himself had just flicked away. And it just clicks. What he always thought of as his just one harmless butt was actually part of a way bigger picture. It was everyone's just one that had turned this beautiful park into, well, a giant ashtray. That small piece didn't feel so small anymore. Okay, so now that he's seen it, he can't unsee it. Arjun decides it's time to take that first conscious step. It's time to finally break that thoughtless habit. So the next day, he's on his smoke break, and that muscle memory, that urge to just flick it is right there. But not this time. He finishes his cigarette and puts the butt in his pocket. It feels weird, a little gross, honestly. Then he walks over to the nearest bin and throws it away properly. It's a small thing, but it's intentional. It's conscious. Of course, changing isn't always smooth sailing. When he tells his friends not to litter, a few of them start laughing, teasing him. "Whoa, look at Mr. Clean India champion over here." He just kind of laughs along, but he doesn't back down. And then he gets this little piece of validation. He's back in the park and sees the same boy. The grass looks a little cleaner. The kid actually looks up, gives him a little smile, and says, "Uncle, there's less today." It's such a small thing to say, but for Arjun, it meant everything. So here's the real point of the story. The change here wasn't just about cleaning up a park. It was about cleaning up a mindset. It was about changing the way he thought. Because when you boil it all down, the problem isn't the cigarette butt or plastic bottle or one piece of trash. The real problem is that little voice in our heads that says, "What difference will my one action make?" That's the thing that really needs to be cleaned up. And that kind of brings it all back to us, doesn't it? It leaves us with a question we should all probably ask ourselves. What is your small piece? What's that one tiny, seemingly harmless thing you do, justifying it by thinking, what difference will it make? Because as Arjun's story shows us, it might just make all the difference in the world.
एक कदम विकसित भारत की ओर।